Hi everybody, cheers and welcome back to Soul Blossom. Long time no see. We are just going to make a little video today to describe our little hiatus that we've been on and tell you all about it. Basically, I wanted nothing more than to make Soul Blossom videos the last few months and do all my normal things, but in January I had a concussion, which I did talk about on Instagram and Facebook a little bit. But it just stopped my life from everything. I have a family to take care of. I have a job. I work full time and I do Soul Blossom on the side, and all these things came to a halt. I couldn't do anything. And it was a real lesson in slowing down and the importance of taking care of yourself and realizing what's important. And sometimes we just don't have control over these things, and we have to let go of the control and realize that we have to do things a little differently. I'm going to talk a little bit about my methods and my ways that I learned how to cope with what I was going through over that time. I've been home for quite a while. The concussion happened at the very beginning of January. I was home from work, unable to do anything all of January and February, and then we had this whole quarantine and shutdown of the world happened in March. So I've been home for probably half a year, just, feeling pretty much like I'm locked up again in a cage. But that was one of the major feelings I had in the beginning. Was I felt locked up. I felt, I couldn't even use social media. I couldn't watch TV. I couldn't read books. When you have a concussion, you can't function. You can't take care of your family the way you used to. So if I did any little thing, I would have to stop. If I went online and wrote an email to my boss, I'd have to stop and go lie down. And a lot of my days were spent with my eyes closed or lying down. And I would fight that for a long time. And I think that these coping mechanisms that I learned to use will actually help anybody in any type of situation in their life. So I would love to share that with you. One thing that I really had to do right away was accept the fact that this was happening. And as soon as I accepted it and was able to just, be with it, I was able to do much better. Because when you're fighting something and you're just like, I have to get better fast, I have to do this, I have to do that. I had to accept where I was. I had to accept help. My mother would come help me. My family would come help me. My father, my husband was helping me. And that's really hard for me, to lose my control over my everything. But that's something that's very important to learn. I was also facing a lot of depression because of this, and sadness, and a feeling of uselessness. And I missed doing things I was passionate about. I missed spending time on the floor playing with my son. I felt guilty and bad that I wasn't at work, and I felt bad for my husband that he had to take over a lot of my roles in the family. And it was overall extremely difficult. But at the same time, as I was feeling guilty and depressed and bad and sad, I was feeling terrible. My head was killing me. I was dizzy all the time, and I think one of the worst things about having a concussion for me was the pain in my arms and legs from the numbness and the nerve damage. And so I had to learn ways to figure out how to deal with that. And at night, the pain would just shoot through my arms and legs. And it was a very cold feeling, and it was just numb. And if I just couldn't handle it. So I realized I had to get moving. I had to move my body, because if you don't move it, you lose it, right? Is that the saying? So I started doing very low impact exercises. Like if I felt good, I would just do a few movements of yoga on the ground, and then I would go take a rest just to get the blood flowing. It was really important. And I also took baths as ways to relax, because I had so much anxiety from what I was going through and depression, that the baths really helped. There were times that I had so much numbness in my legs, though, that I had trouble feeling them in the bathtub, and I would not do it at that time. But baths are a miracle. I mean, I feel like they can help with anything. And another thing that I thought was important was I would eat a lot of omega-3 fatty acids, so chia seeds and flax seeds and things like that. I made sure I had enough B12 because that's supposed to help with nerve damage and the healing of your nerves and everything. So these things were important. I continued taking my vitamins and eating well-balanced meals. And that was very helpful. And also making sure I get enough sleep to heal my brain. And that can be really difficult when you have a concussion. If you've had one, you might know. It's very difficult to sleep. You get insomnia really easily. So melatonin was able to help me get through this. And, you know, it's just important to rest as much as possible. Really just not stress. The more stress that I felt, I would feel really bad, you know, so it's just important to feel stress-free and not worry what other people are thinking. I spent so much time worried that other people were what they were gonna think of me taking so long to heal. The brain is a very complicated organ. You know, it takes time to heal the brain. So, and we just don't know a lot about it still. So don't feel bad in these times, you know, when you need to give your body what it needs. And I would just invite you all to share down below if you have any experience in anything like this with concussion or any kind of injury kind of similar to this, and how you coped with it and what you did to get through that time. And I just want to say, now that we're in quarantine, you know, I'm still in my house, I just really hope that you all are healthy and able to stay safe and do the best you can to keep the people you love safe in your homes. So if you haven't already, I would just ask that you like and subscribe. Come back anytime. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and join the Soul Blossom crew. We're so glad to be a part of your lives. Thank you so much, and we have a video coming soon. Cheers!